Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. A while ago I made a video on what I believed at the time was the best shader. This is that shader. As you can see, it's not as good as what I just showed you. Yes, it has pretty good FPS, nice lighting, nice looking clouds. There are some issues with this like pink glow on my skin. Not sure what that is, but it looks alright. Now, I went looking for more shader packs, and I saw videos of a shader pack called Iteration T. That's this shader pack. And as you can see, it looks way better than what I just showed you. I mean, just look at this. I am using a PBR texture pack, which gives blocks and stuff bumps like this. And without it, blocks will lose this kind of three-dimensionality, but it's not going to change the look of the lighting or the colors or anything like that. Now that we're at the water, let me show you what it looks like under the water. You can see we have some very nice reflections. And the water doesn't really affect what's under it if it's really short, which is really realistic. But you can see further down, it gets a lot more dark blue. If we head underwater, you can see these beautiful colors. And how realistic the lighting up there is. Heading back out, you can see nothing is really too bright in the world. The sun is very bright, of course, but that's just realistic. And if we head into a cave, we can see it's not too dark and you can still see, but you might still want a torch to light up the world a bit. And you can see when you hold the torch in your hand, you cast realistic shadows on everything, which is much better than any other shader pack I've seen before. If we switch back to the previous one I was showcasing, you can see it does not cast shadows anywhere near the same way that shader pack did. Now also, if we place this down, you can see it creates a softer glow, but if we also hold this in our hand, you can see the lights kind of combine together, create a brighter glow, which is very realistic. Like if you have one torch, it's pretty bright, but if you place more torches around it, you can see the lighting kind of stacks. And then if you add the torch in your hand, it gets extremely bright, which is super realistic. And I love that about this pack. The ore's glowing as part of my PBR resource pack. That's not default. You can see the lava casts a nice soft glow upwards. And also that we're getting extremely high FPS, even though it's casting so many shadows with all these light rays. If we compare the look of this geode to that other shader, you can see it's just not the same. It's very shiny and it looks a lot more bland. And the shadow in our hand, in the torch in our hand, just doesn't have the same effect. Although the water is a lot more blue, which is also very unrealistic. You can see it casts a much darker tone, but still blue because what's behind it is pretty dark. I just love how the shader beautifully handles water and all the reflectiveness at the surface, and how the caustics from the surface make its way all the way down here and affect all of the blocks. If you're wondering why I can see my hands like when I'm swimming and holding things, that's because of a mod called Hold My Items. This shader pack is no longer available from the original source that I got it from. I'm not sure when it was removed, but it's no longer accessible. That's why I'll provide a direct drive link to my shader pack so you can download it. It will also scan it for viruses when you're downloading, so you can ensure I'm not giving you malware, which I'm not. I don't know why I would do that. You can see all of the animals also cast realistic shadows on the ground from my torch, even though they're entities and not blocks. This is something that a lot of other shaders struggle with, as they kind of treat the mobs invisible a lot of the time. But the shader recognizes the mob is here, and all the shadows and all the light rays will get stopped by this pig here. I spent an extremely long time trying to get this shader perfect. If we look at the original version of this shader, which looks like this, you can see when you turn it on, you get this weird pop-up, which fades away over time, but it's quite annoying. And everything is super washed out. Also, the exposure is automatic. So if you look at the sun, then everything darkens. And if we look at the ground, then everything brightens. So constantly when you're playing this game, your exposure is going to be changing all the time. So if we go into a cave, you can see it doesn't know what to set the exposure to. The sky is blindingly bright, and yet the caves are super dark. So if we go into this cave, you can see it's way too dark. This is especially clear when working with lava. As you can see, it's extremely bright until you look at it, and then it dims it down. And then now everything else is pitch black, and then it brightens up, and then dims down, brightens up, dims down. This is super annoying. So I was able to fix this after a lot of tweaking to always be a consistent brightness, and the lava will look nice and not change depending on where you're looking. In order to achieve this, I had to set some of these settings way past what they could normally be set to. Like this block lighting brightness, normally the max is like 20 or something, but I was able to set it to 50 in the actual file that controls the settings. And same with the base brightness, I was able to set it way higher or lower, I can't remember, than what it's normally set to. I think this is higher. And that was the only way I could get these visuals to look as nice as this, while still being good in caves. It was kind of a one or the other previously. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.